this. There we go.
All right, and I think that means we are live on YouTube. We're back with the Blame Girl podcast with
Mr. Terry Wayne.
And we got Diane RA in the house. Welcome, Diane.
Thank you.
And it looks like we're all on the move. Just a disclaimer, Diane has a show at 14 North. She's running a little late. I am just going to do a mic just to stay tight. And I'm running a little late because there was a helicopter crash on 95 today. So we're all a little backed up. So, and we can't start late because Diane has to get going. What are you doing tonight? What's your gig tonight?
I'm doing a show tonight at 14 North. We're doing stand-up, and actually we're going to throw in some improv, so like Whose Lines It Anyway type games as well. So
nice.
Something you're trying out, something new. So a nice little mix-up, keep the people interested in different different ways of making people laugh. So I'm excited for it.
I know Ellie has, she wants to bring new ideas to 14 North, and I really like it. So, because we did that because we were on a show there together. We did what was it?
The Great
Debate?
Comedy Debate. Yes.
It was so fun. It was so fun. But anyway, how was your weekend?
It was good. Really relaxing because I had nonstop weekends of traveling for comedy festivals and my husband's birthday. So I was finally one weekend where I didn't have to travel. So I locked myself into my house and started watching Suits on Netflix.
Yeah, you got to do that sometimes. Just be boring a little bit. Terry, how was your weekend?
Mine was good. We the comedy fantasy football league for South Florida is back in effect with a lot of comedians. Mastic, Patel, and a couple other folks on Monty Cox, and I can't remember everybody who's in it, but yeah, that was fun. We did our draft this weekend. It's fun to watch comedians unload on each other over something so dumb.
Yeah, it's like they're normal people, right? They're normal people. They like football, I guess.
Casey Peruski takes it way too seriously, in my opinion, but that's just me.
All right. Well, my weekend was fun-filled. Friday I didn't do anything. That was my night off. Saturday I did the Valeria's newish room, and it's at Gypsy Moon Vape and Brews, which I think Julie Baez used to run that room, but now Valeria's doing it, and she does a comedy and karaoke competition.
Oh, I did the first one.
It was so fun. And then I can't remember. Oh my God, a tree fell on a truck. A tree fell on a truck. I think the truck knocked the tree. It was a big old branch. Okay. Anyway, and then last night was Mike Cintron's birthday, so we did Red Light last night. So that was a lot of fun.
Oh, awesome.
So, did Terry disappear? Where'd Terry go?
I'm still here. Terry. I'm just sharing stuff. Hang on.
We can't see you.
That's fine. I know you can't see me because I too am sort of on the move. I am at my sister's house watching my nephews, so I don't have my setup, so I have to hold the phone. So occasionally, I will disappear.
That's why you shouldn't do it on location, Terry.
I do. This was an emergency that came up like 30 minutes ago, but since I live right down the street, I had to kind of just run over.
Oh, okay. Terry's always giving me a hard time, Diane, because I was doing it on location. Like we got shit to do. Like, but anyway, are y'all ready to do some blaming?
Oh, I'm ready to blame. I am ready to blame all the people. It's do it.
I am ready to do some blaming too. And first up, we've got, our ex-president 45. He is so vain. Who's to blame?
How vain is he? Is he vain enough
I look at him trying to do the literal.
What?
Oh, she froze up. He's vain enough to lie on his statistics for jail.
When he got booked into prison, they said he said that he was 6'3", 215 pounds, which
is 20 pounds lighter than he was when he was in office.
No.
Right.
He wishes. He's like 34 pounds lighter and an inch taller.
Oh, interesting.
He somehow grew another inch. Most people shrink when they get older, but he's grown.
It's like Pinocchio. Like when you tell a lie, you grow. Like if that were the case, he'd be like 8 feet by now, right?
No, he'd be 60 feet tall. What are you talking about? He'd be 60 feet tall. He'd be stomping on buildings in Tokyo.
He'd be the tallest man in the world, the biggest man in the world. Like,
Yeah.
He'd be Godzilla size, for God's sake. I just love this story so much, because to think that anybody would buy that, like, for instance, if anybody knows football, we were making this comparison. You know who is 6'3", 215 pounds? Lamar Jackson, star quarterback Lamar Jackson, who looks like a shredded up Ryan Reynolds mixed with like a Michael B. Jordan.
I was like, he's 6'3",
200. Yeah, no. His name's Lamar Jackson. I thought that was a given. But
then you said he looks like who'd you say he looks like? You went with the white guy.
Ryan Reynolds mixed with Michael B. Jordan. I just mean physically. Like, he's a shredded up, beefy dude. But he's 6'3", 215 pounds. So I don't think anybody's going to be mistaking those two people for one another. Like, I don't think he could run out on the field and be like, all right, I'm here to play. Like, it's crazy. I mean, it's one of those lies that's so absurd. How could anybody think that anybody would believe that?
Yeah.
It baffles me. I just thought it was hilarious, so I included it.
Diane, what you got to say about our president being so vain he gets to laugh?
And not only that, the way he tried to pose for the mugshot, he was fucking Zoolander.
Yes, let's not leave that out.
Literal blue steel, because he was trying to steal blue votes. Like, literal blue steel. That's the pose.
I like that. That's good.
I hope I didn't read that off a meme, because I'd like to think I was clever and I thought of that.
I hadn't seen that one yet.
Yeah, but like the guy, and like the caravan of cars, it's just like, it was theater. It was theatrical. Oh God, like how many cars do you have? Like 12 cars or something like that. Like, insane.
And then a bunch of like motorcycles. It was crazy.
Like you're not president anymore, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, don't flatter yourself. I don't know. It's just like, between the lying about the weight and like the pose, and then
Do you think that maybe, Diane, that he posed like that because he knew that he could market that shit after it was over?
Oh, absolutely. The guy's not above making money for anything,
There's no way that wasn't practiced. That wasn't practiced and rehearsed. Like, should I be like this, or should
like the night before, he's like in the mirror, like,
no.
He's like
he
making
had
all
a
these
whole
faces.
team. He had a team with like a publicist and Don Jr. and everybody, like, doing different faces and being
so late.
And I think ultimately the publicist stepped in and said, just make a face like you're really angry about, child traffickers, and you're going to fight them for QAnon, and just make that face. And then he made that face like, I'm coming to get
you. For QAnon.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because he works for QAnon, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. I don't speak crazy that well, so it might get lost in translation. But yeah, and they're just like, make a mean face and look tough, and I'm like, how's he gonna look tough? Isn't he like 74 years old? That's,
Yeah.
You can't look tough if I know all I got to do is like kick you in the hip and just break it.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, I can't remove. Do you know that image of him playing like tennis in those white shorts, and he has that weird like pose like that. Like I'm sorry, you will never be tough to me. Like you just will never be tough to me.
Well, you can't, and nobody can be tough if they got out of Vietnam because of bone spurs in your heels. Like that's not tough. Yeah. Stallone's not doing that.
When your comb over blows up through the wind, you ain't looking tough.
Well, not to mention the makeup. Like no man who wears makeup on a daily basis can act, like they're going to be the bouncer.
You know who is looking tough though? COVID. COVID is making a comeback. Yeah. It's been rebooted. Who's to blame?
Oh my God. Like I said before, when we talk about COVID, the only thing wrong with COVID is that it's not deadly enough. We need to kill a lot more people with this thing.
Terry hates people.
No, there's just too many. There's just way, way, way too many. And most of us don't need to be here, myself included. Like we're just getting in the way, jamming everything up. Like COVID would have been a lot easier if there was less people. And I'm specifically talking about the ones that fight against all the, precautions and whatnot. Yeah, this is about freedom. Good, go. I hope you die.
Okay, be free to die. Thank you.
Yeah, that's fine. That's what I'm saying. I wish it was more deadly. That way the people that are smart enough to stay away from it, they get to live, and the people that run headfirst into it, we're just cleaning up the gene pool, in my opinion. We're just cleaning it up. It's like a colonic, but for humanity.
I just wish it would have been that easy. But basically what's happening now, and we're seeing this in the schools now that kids are going back to school. I know it was in like Texas and Kentucky in the article that Terry sent, but also I know my friend here, another comedian in Florida, Jessica Smith, her kid had COVID the first week of school too. So do you think it was already going around before that, around offices and stuff, but people travel a lot during the summer. Do you think like the travel may be to blame, like summertime travel, it spreads germs?
Yeah, I mean, I did like a bunch of comedy festivals over the weekend, and all those pages of like the performer pages were like, oh, I got COVID, so if we hung out, sorry. Mind you, I was like, what? I'm like, oh, you mean all those like circles we were in where we were sharing herbal supplementation? Those. Yeah. Okay, cool.
It's a good time right now to go ahead and go on back to single. You're single. You just share it with yourself. You can't be sharing it with everybody.
Nope.
I do that, but for a more selfish reason. Get your own. Like that's the way. Get your own.
I'm very. We all need herbal supplements, so I'm very free and whatnot with it.
Well, yeah, maybe once, but then you get that dude that always comes around like, what are you guys going to do? Like, all right, come on, man, get your own. Like,
look, I'm probably going to be doing it anyway, so if you're around, I'm not going to be rude,
I believe Chappelle called them scavengers in Half Baked.
But I take that back, because now I am going to be rude. And I'm gonna cite COVID. I'm gonna be like, COVID. Not like I got it. I just don't want it.
Right. Well, yeah. So you're being selfish just with a better excuse. That's all it is. Yeah. You just don't want the shame of it, the social shame. But no, I don't want the
social shame of being selfish. You're right. But at the same time,
Wait, you're saying something?
Yeah, I was waiting for her to finish.
You interrupted me.
Well, forget it. I thought you were done. I didn't know you were going into more. No, I was going to say, back to the topic, just it's going to keep happening when you get large groups of people, together. That's just disease. That's how disease spreads. It's how every disease spreads.
If that's the case, then the schools are going to be a cesspool because there's large groups of people there.
Yeah, and kids are disgusting. Kids are gross. Like they don't practice proper hygiene. They're not washing their hands for 2 happy birthday songs. They're not doing that.
No way. Diane, do you have kids?
No, and I don't want them.
But
I have enough of my inner child. I'm healing that child. So I got my handful.
Yeah. Well, make sure your inner child, washes their hands through the whole happy birthday song.
Yes.
Twice.
I have wipes everywhere and Lysol. I have like little things of Lysol at my day job. Like, yeah, I'm pretty not germophobic, but
it's not just the kids are gross. They're also the least susceptible. They're in the lowest risk group. So unless your kid's got like some kind of compromised immune system or something like that, why are you closing the schools? It's the same thing up here in Tennessee. Every time.
Look, I don't know why we opened them back up. Well, the way they be shooting them up, but that's a whole different topic.
Well, then they just go to the Dollar General, apparently. And they'll just go to Walmart or Dollar General and then shoot that place up instead. But I don't get closing the schools. I don't get it.
I'm going to walk over to a table, but I'm going to keep y'all on the phone. All right? Try to get set up on the actual computer. So this looks a little bit better.
At least put a filter on.
But we keep talking. You don't have to stop.
Okay. Speaking of crazy, let's go on to the next thing. So
it's not crazy. It's we're in a state of emergency in Florida, and not on this side.
Isolde, Hurricane Isolde. She sounds like a Cuban.
Why do they name the hurricane like that? I don't even know what name that is. What is it, Diane?
That sounds like an old lady Latina, like that's like a grandmother. I feel like a grandmother's coming here with a bunch of chancletas to spank all of Florida. That's what like Hurricane Isolde sounds like. Hurricane Isolde sounds like if I had a grandmother Isolde, I'd be like, be careful. Oh, okay, you want to stay beyond curfew? Okay, Hurricane Isolde with a chancleta. Here you go. You know what I mean? Like, it's such a non-menacing name.
Yeah, that's weird. So that's the hurricane's name, and that's who's causing the state of emergency. Terry, do you think we're really in a state of emergency?
No, I don't.
Why?
Because I lived in South Florida for 70% of my life and went through every hurricane that they had, from Hurricane Andrew on forward. Yeah, Andrew was a big one. But
I remember that one.
The fact of that it wasn't that they declared a state of emergency. It's when they declared it, because when they declared it, it wasn't even a hurricane yet. It was just a tropical storm. But if you look into it, because they declared a state of emergency, it allows the government without oversee to move funds around, to redistribute state funds, to reallocate them to basically wherever they want in the name of an emergency. And to me, when I see a politician that goes, oh, we better declare a state of emergency in a state like Florida that's suffered so many hurricanes over the decades, and then a tropical storm ramps up and you're like, oh, state of emergency. Like, that's just way too suspicious. That's suspect.
Only a tropical storm?
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Is it only a tropical storm? I thought it had ramped up to hurricane already.
Well, it has, but when they declared a state of emergency, it was still a tropical storm.
Got it.
They usually do that to try to make, like, for example, like to move money from certain accounts. Like when they say, state of emergency, it just makes it easier to like shift money around and like, okay, hey, you, whatever agency, be on call or whatever. But I mean, sometimes, yeah, if they call it like too soon, you're like, are you trying to move some money around? Like, there's some shiesty stuff going on.
Okay, here we go. Here's the big switch.
Well, I would say just keep it as it is. You seem to be doing fine. All right, never mind. Big switch. See, now the camera's worse. Your camera's so much worse now than it was. It is. Am I lying, Diane?
Hold on. Yeah. Okay. Because I had to switch to like the other view, where you could see everyone because I'm on my phone. But yeah, the camera is actually, you look blurrier.
Yeah. It looks like somebody took the other camera and put Vaseline over.
Yeah. I know you should have put a filter.
I think that's what it is. It's the filter.
It's not.
I definitely have a filter.
And it's not even your fault. It's the cameras on laptops are nowhere near as good as cell phones. They're just not. Nope. Yeah, but I think it's just a scam from the government to, again, reallocate funds. It's kind of like how you see the lottery and it's like, oh, lottery, all the profits go to, Florida State schools. No, they don't. I mean, yes, they do on paper. They'll give $100 million to the school systems. But then all they do is they take $100 million out of the budget that they had for it. So nothing changes. It's just a big scam.
Yeah. So,
them kids ain't seeing that money.
I don't know, but everybody on the West Coast is acting like pretty scared, like they're gonna get a lot of rain. Yeah. So I mean, it could actually turn into a real state of emergency. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Guaranteed. It probably will be. It's already it's expected to be a Cat 3 by the time it hits the northern part of the state and the Panhandle. It's expected to be a Category 3, which is bad, but I mean I've been through Cat 3s. I've driven around in Cat 2s. Like it's not that big a deal, but it all depends on that storm surge, which they're expecting to be quite large. Yeah. So it could turn into another Naples situation when that last one hit Naples and flooded everything.
Yeah, it was bad. It was really bad.
Yeah, I agree. But again,
and not only that, it rained for like 5 minutes. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, no, it's all right. But that's not the point of the story. The point of the story is it was barely a tropical storm, and they were like, "Oh, state of emergency!" Like they didn't even know if it was going to hit us for sure.
Yeah, or hit we Florida got that. We got that. We got the point of the story. Thank you.
Yeah. No, it's all right. I don't want to seem callous.
I don't get the point of flying cars all of a sudden. Guys, we have cars about to be flying around. Who's to blame? Are we ready for this bullshit?
No.
No. In no way are we ready for this.
No. Okay. We don't have land. Like we have car land, no, right? Boats crash into each other all the time. Now you want to add the same asshole that can't drive on a regular road in the air with like planes and other things? Nah.
Yeah, no. That's the dumbest idea. I mean, we used to want it, but we can't even manage COVID. Like, how can we go?
No.
How are we gonna be able to deal with flying cars?
You can't get people wearing a mask, and you're gonna have people flying around in cars. Like it's crazy.
It's absolutely insane, but yet it's happening. They are testing flying cars, and I am not looking forward to this world anymore. Like this is too scary. I don't like it. I don't like it one bit.
This is not the Jetsons. This is not like.
This is not Fifth Element.
1950s, 60s. Like,
do y'all remember Fifth Element? It was like
yes.
Oh my god, it was crazy.
I'm actually fine with them doing it because again, less people. There's going to be a lot less people.
Yeah, but like
it's going to go the same way. It's going to go the same way that Tesla's auto driving thing went. Like, oh, it was really cool in the beginning, and then they started running over kids, and then
it's gonna be a little bit worse.
Cars.
Yeah,
I feel like it's gonna be a little bit worse. Sorry, go ahead, Diane.
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say. Oh my god.
Oh my lord.
I was just gonna say that a helicopter crashed into 95 today, and we're testing out flying cars.
We
Well,
can't
that
even
was a
master
trained
the flying
pilot.
aircrafts we got.
And that was a trained pilot who was licensed to do that. Now you're just gonna have whoever, you know.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, go for it. Do the flying car thing. Just make sure Tucker Carlson gets one of the first ones, because we're gonna take care of all kinds of problems. We can take care of a lot of these problems.
You know, they ain't gonna be doing inspections. It's just gonna be a disaster. You know,
No.
Florida's not gonna require inspection of your aircraft and shit, and it's gonna be a nightmare.
No, make sure, you know, and they're doing this in San Francisco, so make sure Nancy Pelosi gets one too. And Tucker Carlson, and let them all go into the bay. I'm fine with it.
Some dude's gonna try to drive it across the ocean.
Sure. Yeah, and they're gonna die.
Like, oh yeah, England's not that far. Yeah, let's do it. Like,
let's just try it.
Well, it's in San Francisco, so they're gonna try to do it to China, and they're gonna crash into the garbage island in the middle of the Pacific. It's fine.
So stupid.
Start a new life out there. Start a new life on the garbage dump.
All right. Well, that's about it for us this week regarding any of the blames. Now I want to bring in Diane Jorge. Did I say it right?
Yes, you did.
And she is a comedian and an improvist. Welcome. We just had an improvist last week. We had Tom Neal. I don't know if you know him.
Improviser. Yeah.
Oh yeah. You know Doghouse. You're in the chat. I do. So Diane, how long have you been doing comedy?
So like between stand up and improv and sketch and other stuff, I want to say 15 years. Stand up's been more recent. I'm in my second year of doing stand up more consistently. I had a little like foray into it like for like a year, 10 years ago. But then I had some undiagnosed anxiety. I was like, oh, you mean the walls are not supposed to close in every time I go on stage? Okay, got it.
Oh, you had anxiety to deal with before you got back into stand-up, huh?
Yeah. And then, it was really bad. But, therapy and meds and
how did
you
first start? Like, how did you get into it? Was it a class or was it improv?
I was like bored because I got out of college and I'm like, wow, this real world stuff really sucks. So I Googled like comedy classes. So I ended up taking classes at Improv Theater down in Miami called Just Funny. And then I eventually did like the stand-up class when the improv was back at the Hard Rock with Dean Napolitano. This was like a zillion years ago. And that's how I started doing stand-up. And then life kind of got in the way and got crazy. And then during the pandemic, I'm like, well, we're all going to die. I might as well just get on the mic and say whatever. So, yeah.
So you got back into it during the pandemic?
Yeah, during the pandemic, yeah. And there was like a lot of different online classes and like Zoom things happening before things were open. So I was like, all right, let me take a good class and just start writing again,
Where's your favorite venue to perform stand-up?
Like, I don't know why. I recently did I do a character based on an astrologer called Walter McDonald, and he finally got to perform at the Miami Improv. I got to perform at the Miami Improv as his character, and it was just like crazy. I mean, obviously that's like
Terry's not here. I don't know where he went, but you can't say the improv. You didn't do your job. Yeah. You can't say the improvs. I heard you. And
well, no, it's just it's not that you can't say it. It's just too easy, and everybody.
No, I know it's too easy, but I'm getting there. So the other place I really love is I love Thank You Miami. Actually, I love it a lot just because it's like always a good comic hang. The food's really good.
We get Thank You Miami quite a bit.
Yeah,
in answer to this,
Alex has always been really nice to like the comics and stuff, and it's just it's usually a good crowd on Fridays, and I like the vibe. I mean, I'm born and raised in Miami, so in like that area of Miami specifically, Little Havana, that's like where I grew up.
Mhm.
So it's always a little nostalgic too every time I go. I haven't gone in a minute because I've been doing a bunch of different things and going to comedy festivals. But now that I'm going to be back on land for a while, I definitely need to go back and hit that spot up. But yeah,
Yeah.
Thank You Miami is probably one of my favorites.
Did you say now that you're going to be back on land? Where were these comedy
Yeah, because I was like
on
flying.
oil rigs? Okay.
Yes, I was doing the comedy circuit on them oil rigs. You know,
Yeah.
we were drilling
You wait
for
this
oil,
out.
we were drilling for laughter. You know,
Mhm.
So finish telling me the story about how you got to do your character for the first time at Miami Improv. I did interrupt you, and I do want to hear about
oh
it.
no, it's okay. So so as far as like improv, I've always done a lot of characters. And back in 2019, for Halloween, I dressed up like this guy with the Megalo. He's a very famous astrologer, very big in Miami, and like Latinos know him. And like, so I met him in August of 2019, and I got inspired to dress up like him for Halloween. So I did it for like my, you know, I had a costume contest at my day job. I won it by a landslide. And then I started getting booked to do the character. Like my friend booked me for his dad's birthday. And then with the pandemic, I actually had a bunch of gigs lined up at him.
Yeah.
But then that kind of faded out, obviously, because of COVID. But then I started doing the character a lot again. And then actually, Abby Ballin was like, man, you should really do this character more often. And then she like booked me for like Red Light, and she booked me for like another show she does at the at Kelly Brothers in Fort Lauderdale. So, you know, I started doing, you know, sets as this guy. And then Ellie, who also is running the show now at 14 North, she has a showcase where she does it's called Que Volao, it's like a showcase of Cuban comics. And she booked me as the character. And I mean, I was, you know, the characters I mostly improvise what the character says, but I do have a couple of like, you know, jokes that I've written out for him.
Yeah.
I interweave, but a lot of what I do with Mother Megalo is it's a lot of crowd work. So no, I mean, the shows have gone really well so far. I've been at the Miami Improv twice as him. Which is good. And I've been hired to do like birthday parties and things like that. And yeah, I mean, I have a lot of ideas for the guy. I just need to find the time to do them, like, you know, make online content and all that good stuff. But yeah.
Yeah, I think the time's a big part of it. So since you've been doing comedy, what's been your proudest moment?
I'm gonna say honestly, it was like doing that, being able to do like a character for 30 minutes, just like straight at the Miami Improv. That was probably one of my proudest moments. But honestly, and I hate to sound super cheesy about it, but like every time I go up to a mic is kind of my proudest moment, because you know, I think about that person that used to have panic attacks all the time.
Yeah.
And I think about, like, you know, because there's sometimes I think we all have moments where we get in our head, you know, we're like, oh, do I really want to go to this mic? I don't think I have anything funny to say. I just have my same old shit. Or, I have this new thing, but it's not great. But you have to be comfortable with sucking.
And then you'll be on stage having those moments where you're like, you know,
yes,
what am I doing?
Where the stuff that's supposed to hit is not hitting as strong.
Yeah.
And you're just like,
Shakes
okay,
you.
this is not.
Yeah.
But you know what? It builds character. Honestly, it's just a part of the you know, you'll do one set and you'll kill with the set, and then you'll do the same set somewhere else and you'll absolutely bomb. And that's just the nature of the beast. And you know, you learn. Those are your learning moments.
Speaking of learning, what's been your biggest challenge?
I think it's balancing everything. Has been like my biggest challenge. In terms of like, okay, I have a day job. And I live really far from my day job that requires me to go in 3 times a week now, right? So it's like there's a lot of time devoted to going there and getting prepared to go there. And then there's time to like, okay, I want to go to do a bunch of mics, but I need to sleep in order to do my day job right. And then you also have people in your life. I'm married, and I've been with my husband, like, between dating and marriage, like 9 years, and married for about 6. And, you have to, I make, I gotta make time for him. Yeah, I live with him, but, like, go out to dates and, like, do non-comedy things with him. He's very supportive of the comedy, and he'll always tell people about my shows and stuff. But, like, you also, you want to spend time with this person, also, friends and family and all that. So it's a balance of, like, okay, there's stuff I have to do to be able to, like, pay my bills and feed myself. Comedy is what I would love to be able to pay for all of that, but as we all know, that's the challenge. And there's more things I want to do that,
right?
Yeah. And there's things I want to do that I haven't even made the time to do yet, like online content and even clipping my sets. And it's, it's a lot.
Yeah. Look, I know. Just there's all this stuff you're supposed to be doing, and like the podcast, like I'm trying to keep this up every week. It's a work.
Right.
And that's what you don't realize. People think, like, just because you're online, it's this or that. No, it's work. You're clipping, making that content. Ooh, it can be a lot of work.
Yeah.
Especially if you do it right. And then, I don't know. Sometimes you just got to do it real quick because the topic, it's constantly moving. But anyway,
yeah.
Tell us about you. Like, what do you do for work? Because you said work consumes you a lot. You said you're married, no kids. Are you from Florida?
No.
Tell us a little bit about you.
So I'm born and raised in Miami. Cuban parents. My parents came here in the 80s, and I was born like a few years after they came. And growing up in Miami, and it's like that. Like, I've left Miami. I live in Broward now, but Miami certainly hasn't left me at all. And I still go down there 3 times a week. So a lot of people still think I'm like a Miami comic, but technically I live in Broward. But, born and raised in Miami, Cuban parents. I just, I have a lot of energy. So honestly, comedy is just one outlet where I can, like, let out my energy and it be okay. I can't exactly, run around like a crazy person at my day job. So my day job is actually in television, but I do research. So I basically let people know who's watching their show, why is it doing bad, why is it doing good. It's very analytical, which is another side of me. I have a big nerdy side. Like, I actually was one of those people that actually liked school. But I would, like, every time someone was like, oh, we have no school today, I'm like, oh, darn. But I actually was like a big nerd in pretty much all of my schooling. But so I do a very analytical thing. It's an exciting industry. And, like, funny enough, they'll ask me to do stuff like for example, like, there's a costume contest. Like, oh, you're gonna do something, and I always win the costume contest. And there'll always be one person who's on air be like, oh, we need to get you on air. But then I see who they put on air, and they're at least 50 pounds lighter than I am, and have less chins than I do. So I'm like, okay, I could see why I'm not on here.
Yeah.
But yeah. So my day job's in television, so it's almost like a carrot being dangled in front of me all the time too. So I'm like, if I could just go downstairs and just run in front of a camera, they'll love me. I know it.
Come see me at the Improv this Friday.
I know, right? I'm just gonna, there goes my
lose your job but go viral.
Right.
Lose your job but go viral. All right. So you just said you got done during a bunch of festivals. Tell us a little bit about those.
So I applied for a bunch of comedy festivals. I mostly did. I do a one-person telenovela that I completely improvise. It's called Solovela. So I get like a couple. I interview them about their life, and I'll improvise a bunch of characters. I have props. I completely make it up. I have someone playing piano, doing like dramatic music. So I went to Sarasota. with another improv group. Then I went to Omaha, Nebraska, for the Omaha Comedy Festival, and they had like stand up and improv. And then I recently got back from Tampa, where they had a festival for just like solo groups, solo improv, duos, or trios. Usually when you see improv, it's usually an ensemble of like 4 to 6 people on stage. So yeah. So I play all the characters, I do all the stuff. If I did that show more often, I'd probably be a lot skinnier.
A lot what?
A lot skinnier, because I run around a lot for that show, because I'm getting myself in places and I'm playing different characters. Yeah, it's a telenovela format, so sometimes it ends at a wedding. So I'll do like a wedding march, but I'll run all the way to the end and do the wedding march. But then I'll like run all the way to the front and be the priest. It's very campy.
But that's good.
It's very high energy.
It's very like sounds very engaging and like high energy. I feel like that's my challenge. Is I'm not very high energy. I'm very like deadpan and like so it's hard sometimes to keep crowds' attention. So, but this sounds like with you, not just like your physical, you're working out like you say, but you're giving the crowd a little bit of a workout because they got to stay with you to stay you know, engaged with the show. So sounds a lot like it sounds interesting. So do you have anything coming up you want to tell folks about?
So I have a couple shows coming up locally. So tonight I'll be at 14 North in Dania Beach. And then on Friday, I'm going to be at Beat Culture Brewery in Miami. Next Thursday, I'll be at Blue Steel Pizza in Fort Lauderdale. That's Nick Basics show. And then the following Friday, I'll be at Prison Pals Brewery in Oakland Park doing some more stand-ups. And I have a monthly residency for the works for my Solovella show. Here's hoping, and I hopefully will have something for my other character, Walter Megalo, for Megalo de la Fortuna. So yeah.
Why don't you drop social so people can follow you in case they want to?
Yes, I'm Diane is Loud on all social media platforms. That's the best way to find out about all my shows.
No, I'm just kidding.
I am loud.
You are
I'm
loud.
not kidding.
Okay, I found this on the web for you all. Check it out.
My Siri popped up. I'm sorry.
Oh, damn.
I know.
Siri's telling me to shut up. That's what Siri's like. Okay, enough. We've had enough.
Probably should. Give them it's Diane is Loud on all platforms. What platforms are you on specifically?
So like mostly, it's mostly Instagram, but I'm also on Threads, which is the Instagram Twitter. I'm on X/Twitter. Facebook, but I really don't use Facebook anymore. But yeah, those are the main platforms I'm on. I'm on TikTok as well at Diane is Loud. I need to be posting more stuff on there too. But yes, I have a few videos up there, but not as much as I'd like.
They need to follow your Instagram if they want to catch you on a show, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, most definitely.
All right. Terry Wayne, do you got words for white people this week?
I do. Actually, I have something different. It's retractions for white people this week. We've talked about conspiracy theories. We've talked about conspiracy theories several times on here where I have ridiculed people who believe in them. And then I was talking to somebody this past week, and he's like, I don't really think it's true, but I follow it just for the same reason that people watch wrestling. You know, we know wrestling's fake, but it's entertaining. He's like, just keep a little mystery in life, you know, like maybe chupacabras exist, you know, like it's just, he said, it's just more fun that way. So then I started looking into it, and there are a couple that I can totally see how people get wrapped up into them. Have you ever heard of the Bohemian Grove thing? That's pretty crazy. This is if you've never heard of Bohemia Grove, it's definitely worth a Google. It is a place out in California, a compound or a park, as it were. And every year, major political and financial and scientific people get together as a group and
Oh,
have
yeah.
have a little couple days to
It's like the
themselves where they meet
Rothschilds
and
or
talk.
something. Yeah.
Yes, it's like
I
billionaires.
mean, that ain't no conspiracy. They be doing that shit. They do
Yes,
that
I
shit.
know that's not a, but I get why people, because when you see people like former presidents and you see like Reagan there and Nixon there and George Bush there, and then you throw
Well,
in
they did, so I
billionaires.
don't know. Like that might
And then-
sound like hell. No,
Well,
They do seances?
no, but there are pictures there. There are pictures of those people there that you can look up and see. And then you throw in the fact that there's like a huge 30-foot owl sculpture out of wood. And it almost looks like a little shrine to apparently some owl god named Moloch or whatever. I don't know. It was silly, but I definitely see how people can get involved in that. And that guy kind of is like, all right, if I look at it like you're just enjoying a show, go for it. If you're not hurting anybody, as long as you're not like stop short of shooting up pizza places, stop short of that, obviously, and
go in on them last week.
Well, and stop storming the Capitol and shooting up pizza places, and just enjoy your conspiracy theory. You know what? As long as you're not hurting anybody, go for it.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know what? I gotta say, because I've been thinking this the whole time you were talking about that. You shut down my conspiracy about aliens on this show, and then we come out like 2 weeks later talking about their aliens. Just saying.
No, I've always believed that aliens exist. I had just always said that I've always believed that the universe is too big and it's too arrogant. It's too arrogant. What do y'all know about
the Mandela effect? Are y'all familiar with this? They're saying that Bob Barker died for the third time.
Oh.
Y'all know about it, huh?
Yeah. or we could have sworn someone died, or like for example, the Sally Field speech. You really like me, but she actually said something else.
Yeah,
exactly.
The
Berenstain Bears, Berenstain Bears, what I grew up with.
Well,
but
the most famous one, I think, is Luke, I am your father. He doesn't say that. He says, no, I am your father. But everybody thinks of it as Luke, I am your father, which
that's how I remember it.
He never says. He never says.
CERN changed everything. Okay, look it up. No, I'm just kidding. All right. Y'all got it. We got a little bit of time, but we don't have to do it because I know you got to get going, Diane. I was gonna say, what are some of y'all's favorite conspiracies before you get out of here?
Well, this Bohemia Grove thing is now it's my favorite because it's like, what are y'all doing out there in the woods where you don't let anybody come around, and where they keep everybody away and there's no media allowed, and it's like, what are y'all doing out there? That's like some Illuminati skull and bone shit,
The owl.
They're out there like,
it's the owl.
when are we gonna start? Yeah, they're out there like deciding. Like, I don't think they're actually worshiping gods. They think they're gods. Like, why would they worship anybody else? But I think they're out there going, okay, when are we gonna release COVID-2? Like, you know what I mean? Like, and how is this gonna be financially benefit?
Yeah, they got more knowledge than the rest of us, for sure. Diane, do you have any conspiracy theories you believe in?
I mean, here's the thing, like aliens. I know you were just talking about aliens, but that was like probably, there was like a moment in time when I was younger when like the X-Files came out, and I looked up all of like the Area 51 stuff and like all the supposed like documents, and I would print them out and like read them and try to solve if they were aliens or not. I did this at one point like when I was like 13. Yeah, I had a lot of friends, 19 years. But I mean, just like Area 51, what were they really doing over there?
I don't really think that can be considered a conspiracy theory anymore. Now there's like congressional hearings.
Now there's proof. Yeah.
Where it's like,
that's like very new. That's very new. That's
very new. But like growing up for a long time, it was, like,
but no
UFOs.
pizza game or anything like that.
No
red pill.
I like conspiracy theories. I like conspiracy theories that get proven, like MK Ultra and the Tuskegee experiments. Like,
Yeah.
You know, like they had and then
That's
they
just
just released
history.
them. They're like, yeah, there was always a conspiracy theory of like the CIA is controlling people using LSD, and they're like, you're crazy. And then like the forms got declassified, and it's like, yeah, they were doing that.
They
For
were
real.
doing that.
Yeah.
They were really messing people up.
So, Diane,
Mm.
drop your shows coming up again before we get out of here.
So this Friday at Beat Culture Brewery in Miami. Next Thursday at Blue Steel Pizza in Fort Lauderdale, and then the following Friday I'll be at the Prison Pals Brewery in Oakland Park.
Nice.
And you can find me at Terry Wayne Comedy on all platforms. Also, get on Amazon, buy the book. It is Unclaimed Ashes. It is a novel that I wrote, and I want money.
And you can catch him on his
That's
other
funny.
podcast, The Worst Ones.
Oh yeah, the Worst Ones podcast on Spotify, YouTube, and Apple Podcasts.
And then I have a show tomorrow at the Garrison in Miami Lakes. I'm at Taurus in Coconut Grove in Miami on Thursday, and then I'm at Smokin' on Saturday in Boynton Beach. So you know where to
Nice.
find me. All right, guys. Until next week.